Living Local Carolina with Katie Turner. Local trends, shopping, dining, and more. This is Living Local Carolina.
Well, welcome back to Living Local Carolina, everybody. Today I am joined by Matt, who is a producer amongst a ton of other titles. So how are you doing?
I am great. It's good to be here.
All right, I want you to talk to me a little bit about your career and what you do.
Producer, musician, singer, artist. Just love doing music. Been doing it for a while. Recording engineer.
Well, I know that you have a term that you've coined called mixed producer. Can you kind of break that down for me?
Yeah, so what producer actually started out in music, it started out as the person who pretty much directs the song. And so, back in the days, like, in the 80s, 90s, Teddy Riley or Berry Gordy or someone, or Puffy would produce a record, and they didn't necessarily play, or like Puffy wouldn't necessarily play anything. He would just direct the song, put that snare there, that sounds really great, and I'll approve it. Then Teddy Riley kind of came along and kind of did everything himself. Like, he did all the music, he directed everything, got everything together. And then now it's kind of evolved to the producer kind of just does the beat. Well, that isn't really what a producer does. And so the mixed producer kind of puts more of a context for the engineer. A lot of times now the engineer is the one who is kind of putting all the effects and making producer decisions. And they're talking to the artist, because the person who did the beat sent the beat, the artist did what they did on it, sing, rap, what have you, and then they're coming into the studio, and now the song still needs coaching, it still needs massaging. And so usually the engineer is the one who does it. So now you call the engineer the producer, but they don't necessarily get credit for doing the things that they're doing, you know what I mean? And so what mixed producer does is kind of give language to what's actually happening, because I'm changing songs, adding, even to the point where adding more instrumentation with the instrumentation that's there, like putting more snares here, or putting a break here, changing the entire sound of this part, making decisions that are producer's decisions, that if you didn't know the engineer did that, you would be like, oh, the producer's great, you know what I mean? But producer just put a kind of a boom tap. They did their thing. They put the foundation on, but the finishing product was really, really created by the engineer. So.
And that's what makes it sound really good in the end too. Okay, talk to me about some of the highlights of your career. Obviously, you've won a Grammy. You've worked with some very notable artists before, but tell me some of the highlights.
Again, it's hard for me to talk about stuff. I literally have people that have known me for like 15 years, and they're just finding out that I have a Grammy. So I'm the guy. Literally, I'm the guy who wins the award but doesn't come. Yeah, I'm that guy. So I sit in a lot of sessions, and they're like, man, you have a Grammy. You got a song with Ashanti. You got a song with this person, that person, and I'll be like, okay, that's cool, but can we work? Like, what are we gonna do? You know what I mean? Yeah. So, let's see. I worked with Ashanti. Got a song with Tyrese, and did a song with Aaron Hall and Biggie Smalls, and just done some work with some people. Traveled a couple of places and worked with a lot of dream people. But it's cool.
I'm sure you have a million stories, but what are you working on right now?
Now I've relocated I used to be, my main place was Richmond, Virginia. And so now I've moved to California. So kind of relocating and kind of getting things. I'm in Sacramento. I'm really, really working on establishing a second location for the studio that we had in Richmond. So we're kind of expanding. It's a Spot Recording Studio in Richmond, Virginia. Go check them out. Longest urban studio, the best in DMV.
We'll be back right after this break with more Living Local Carolina.
Well, thanks once again for joining us today on Living Local Carolina. I'm Katie Turner, and I'm wearing pink for a reason today. I'm joined in studio by Michelle Apple. How are you?
Fantastic, thank you.
Okay, so you are the founder of the ABC Warrior Foundation. What does that stand for?
The Apple Breast Cancer Warrior Foundation.
All right, so tell me your story.
So I'm actually, this week is kind of ironic, I'm a 5-year breast cancer survivor, so I made it to 5 years, which is a huge milestone for many breast cancer patients. So when I got my diagnosis, I always knew I wanted to do more. I didn't want to be defined by breast cancer, but I've seen so many financially having a hard time with the financial bills in addition to advocating and educating. So during my journey, I decided to start a foundation, a 501c, to help other breast cancer patients as they're going through this long journey, because it's emotional, it's financial. And so I decided to start the foundation under those things so that we could help them.
It's got to be surreal going from being the patient to being able to really pay it forward to people.
Absolutely, I wanted to advocate because in the beginning my diagnosis was missed, so I had a very small lump under my armpit, and I think it's good for the viewers to know that I just got a standard mammogram, and unfortunately they missed it, and I should have had an ultrasound.
Wow.
And that's the other reason to advocate for the foundation, right? I want to educate and tell folks. Not that you have a crystal ball that it could stop it, but maybe we could have caught it earlier. We know with breast cancer, early detection and treatments are huge.
Huge.
So with that, after my mom got diagnosed with bile duct cancer, I then took care of myself. She passed away. We were taking care of her, and I got shingles, and it grew actually on my breast. And I thought, well, you know, I should get this checked out. So after she passed, I did, and that's when I found out I was stage 3. It has metastasized into 23 lymph nodes, full mastectomy, 6 months chemo, 3 months radiation, and then just recently I had my ovaries removed, and then continued medication. So many cancer patients don't get to ring the bell. So many of those I want to advocate and help and do the comfort bags that we're going to talk about at the next summit to kind of bring a smile to their face.
Now, for people that want to stay updated with you and help out throughout the year, I mean, you have so many things planned on the calendar. How can they stay in touch with you?
Absolutely. So we have a website. It's www.applebcwarrior.com, or they can certainly email me at michelleapple71@iCloud as well.
This segment is sponsored by Evergreen Nursery. Well, today I have the treat of being at Evergreen Nursery, and I'm joined by Riley. How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing great. So I want to talk about how people can get their homes ready for fall, specifically our front porches, and we can feel festive. Do you have any tips?
So basically everything is going to start going dormant. So everything you're just kind of want to protect or cover up. And then anything for your front porch, like your pumpkins, your fall annuals, like your mums, your marigolds, your pansies, you can always decorate your porch with those. Add in some little ferns with your pots, and everything will look cute.
Okay, so you mentioned the word annual. What's the difference between that and a perennial?
So the annuals aren't going to last all year. It's going to last for more of a season. And then your perennials are going to last all year. You won't have to worry about them in the cold. They're more hardy.
Okay, so do you have any examples of these types of plants that you guys carry here?
For perennials, so like palms, evergreen bushes, like azaleas, gardenias, pittosporum, oleanders, anything like that. And then annuals that we have here right now are peppers, we have our celosias, mums, and then some dahlias.
Beautiful. Okay, so if somebody wanted to make a really pretty planter for their front porch or around the pool for fall, do you have any tips with that as well?
So for pots, you need a thriller, a filler, and a spiller. The thriller is going to be that main thing, and then your thriller is going to be around it, and then your spiller is going to come out of the pot. So it's really just the kind of look that you want to go for, just to kind of touch up your house.
And y'all have a ton of pottery here. Talk to me about that.
All of our pots are they're not handmade, but they're ceramic, hand painted.
Okay.
So they'll last you years.
All right.
Yeah.
So Riley, as we transition into the fall and winter months, do you have any tips for our viewers on how to make sure that they still have beautiful plants and that they don't all look dead and nasty?
So basically everything is going to go dormant in the winter season. So you either want to cover your beds with a layer of mulch to kind of protect that ground. You can use tarp to cover it all up. Take out anything tropical because it's not going to last. You're not going to want to have to deal with that in the spring when you want everything to reroot.
This segment is sponsored by Evergreen Nursery.
We'll be back right after this break with more Living Local Carolina.
Good morning. Thanks everybody for joining us today on Living Local Carolina. Today I'm joined by Will from Dreamwalkers. How are you doing?
Good.
Awesome. I want you to go ahead and tell me your story.
Okay. Guess I can start from the high school days. Graduated in 1996 from Lincoln High School. Was born and raised on the McClellanville area in South Carolina. Played football, basketball, baseball, and pretty much excelled in football. Got a scholarship to play at Johnson C. Smith University in Charlotte, North Carolina. Played there for a couple of years and got injured. Well, actually, I played basketball and football at college. Yeah, I was like the only freshman playing football and basketball. At the end of my sophomore, actually, it was the last spring game. I got injured making a tackle. The injury was I fractured my C4, C5 vertebrae. My parents flew up there. They quit their jobs, and I was with them for every day for like 4 years straight before my mom passed. But with Dreamwalkers, that's a little bit of the background. With it is geared towards athletes like in my position, and it will be like a resource, outreach to help them with certain things like transportation, whether it's spiritually, physically, mentally. It's something to help people that's in my position. But it's not limited to athletes, but it's geared towards athletes.
Gotcha. You know firsthand what toll it takes not only on you, but on your entire life, your family, your inner circle, how much of a toll that takes whenever you go through an injury like that. What has your recovery been like over the years, and how has your family helped you through that?
Oh man, like I said, the day of my injury, I was with my parents. I'm grateful for every moment that they were there. I had a lot of friends and family that call and check and come by. Those two are there every day. Like, I couldn't ask for better parents than that.
Mm-hmm. So now you're able to pay it forward and help people in similar situations. You said it a little bit before, but what are some of the resources that Dreamwalkers helps out with?
If I have the funding and backing from the community, I'll give away as much as possible. It doesn't matter. My goal is to help others out in my position.
So are you able to provide like equipment? You were saying transportation. What does that look like?
It was just like some folks need to go to the doctor, or someone need to go out with their family. They're having family functions and they're stuck at home. little things like that would be a huge plus for someone's family. Mentally, I would want to have physical therapy, someone that deal with mental health, or therapists, just different outlets, like with people in my position that they can reach out.
Don't forget to like our page on Facebook and follow us on Instagram and Twitter. How to use the QR code. Just open the camera app on your smartphone, iPad, or tablet. Point your device at the QR code so the QR code appears on your screen. Your device will recognize the QR code and show you a notification. Click that notification and you'll come to our website. Living Local Carolina, weekday mornings at 9:30 on WBTW News 13.